For today's death battle reaction, the role of Blackjack Gabiani will be played by a box of tissue papers. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Blackjack. I'm Blackjack Gabiani, and I am sick. I had you guys vote on whether or not I should save my voice or just go ahead with making videos. And y'all wanted to see more videos. I mean, my throat's going to be shot to hell anyway, regardless of whether or not I make videos, so I might as well be productive. Yeah, so I've got COVID. Don't know how. Wash your hands, wear your mask, take your shots. I can't stand shots, but I got them anyway. Guys, you gotta do a little thing called herd immunity. You gotta protect everyone, okay? Do your part. Anyway, today's death battle, Deku versus Asta. It was funny because during Asta's summaries, they were mainly talking about how he has anti-magic capability. And Deku doesn't have any magic. So it's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up.
Deku, My Hero Academia super student straight out of UA High.
Asta, the anti-magical ass kicker from Black Clover.
Though you may be born bereft of the same gifts as your peers, there is nothing stopping you from achieving your dreams.
As long as you're a fictional character in a fantasy world. I mean, as long as you've got your friends by your side, you'll pack a hell of a punch. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Yeah, that is always a bugaboo in it.
Izuku Midoriya wanted only one thing from life. To be a beacon of hope, just like
I love that his mother's name is Inko.
Superhero in Japan,
Parakeet.
Too bad he was born a freak with no powers. You heard right. This is like a reverse X-Men thing where 80% of the population gets red superpowers, or quirks as they're called, while the remaining fifth are stuck as basic bitches, or as his spiky-haired bully Bakugo called him, Deku.
That's a pun on the Japanese word dekunobu, meaning good for nothing.
Yeah, of course it is.
Despite his basic bitchedness, Midoriya got the chance
he's really just an inch shorter than me? Huh. I thought he'd be like a small little guy.
Particular almighty onlooker.
His body secretly decaying from a horrific injury, All Might needed to find the one who would inherit his all-powerful quirk.
And All Might didn't want just anybody. The hero.
I was watching the first season of this at Netbug's house, and I asked her, if All Might is missing, like, his internal organs, how does he eat? And she's like, she kind of looks at me like, yeah, the fan base just doesn't ask those questions.
The world was filled with glory seekers in it for fame and money. All Might wanted someone whose body moved on its own to save someone.
He saw exactly that in young Midoriya, and gave him one of the most powerful quirks in the world.
I'm just gonna preface for you right now. Do you remember how, even though I've had absolutely catastrophic reactions like Thor versus Wonder Woman, where you could not hear a word I said because the volume was so skewy, but even with ones like that, the only death battle reaction I've ever considered deleting is Gundam vs. Optimus Prime, because I was sick off my ass and could barely respond. I'm just hoping this doesn't end up like that. I think already telling you the Netbug story puts it already above that, but still.
One for all.
That was the problem. Even after bulking up from lad to Chad, the recoil from even one punch would shatter all the bones in his arm. So he trained to be able to handle his gift.
Plugged in the computer, I noticed it wasn't.
And that's when he decided to own the name used as a cudgel against him for so many years. Turns out, Deku can also be an abbreviation for Dekiru, someone who can do anything.
Awesome.
Exactly the opposite of Deku Nobu. One for All allows Deku to release absolutely absurd amounts of strength from different parts of his body, with
Nice,
super moves
nice.
named after U.S. cities and states.
Deku still
For
can't access
some
all of his
reason.
power safely though. Using 100% will quickly destroy his body, which is why
Yeah.
he learned to distribute his strength evenly across his body, a technique known as full cowling. This lets him increase his speed and durability
see.
as well, making
That's
him
kind of
more
a cool name.
all-rounded, and shifting focus to his own interpretation of One for All inspired by his pal Ida, shoot style.
Where he pulls out a Glock and blows your brains out. Okay, not really, but in keeping with One for All's rabbit theme, he trades All Might's signature punches for kicks.
Cool.
My version's better. You ever seen Rabbit versus Gun? I have, and I know how it plays out.
Considering the much higher muscle mass of a human's legs, shoot style allowed Deku to output even more power while giving his arms a break.
Well,
a break from
Yeah.
a break.
And
Yeah.
despite being a classic melee build, Deku can fight at range by punching powerful gusts of air, and even precisely aim them with specially designed gloves.
Deku has
Oh,
an
nice.
encyclopedic knowledge of quirks and is always analyzing their strengths and weaknesses mid-battle, even if he does sound a little weird.
Despite only
It's
barely
just looking
getting
at him like-
accepted in the first place, Deku quickly became one of Class 1A's most dependable fighters. Because, yeah, somehow these students are constantly getting drafted into literal wars against murderous supervillains.
Midoriya's successes in battle against ruthless criminals
No.
like Stain, Muscular, and Overhaul came
I
much
gotta
to
wonder
his
how
own
the
holy
mystery men
chagrin.
would fare in
Where
this
Bakugo
world.
was a child prodigy, he now found himself overshadowed by his hard-working rival. And the
Yep.
two would use their mutual respect and animosity to motivate each other to get stronger.
Classic frenemies. They're only solving their problems by pounding the living tar out of each other.
Luckily for him, Deku soon
yeah.
learned that living tar pounding wasn't the only thing he could do. Turns out, One for All did not originate with All Might. It had been passed down 8 times until it arrived at
Oh,
Deku. with
only
each
8? I thought it was more than
inherited also carrying
that.
the
But
previous
then,
user's
like I said, I only
natural
saw
quirk as well.
a little bit.
Like Black Whip, which lets him manifest crazy long and strong energy tendrils to tie enemies up and swing around the city, or shoot one out of his mouth, just like our girl Froppy.
And Danger Sense, which gives him a minor reactive precognition.
Interesting.
AKA
Minor.
Spider-Man. Not even a reach. The mangaka is like the biggest Spidey fan ever.
He can also produce a smoke screen to mask his presence, float in midair, or store kinetic energy over time with Fa Jin. Oh,
Like that. Thanks.
Okay,
But
so
now
that's
he
storing
can
kinetic
even
energy,
use
yeah.
All Might's max power
Survived a
without
nut shot
a
from
recoil to
Koga.
boot, strong enough to change the weather and create city block-sized tornadoes with a single punch.
and he's even
Defied the
stronger with
future
his
Night
newest
Eye
quirk,
Force.
Gear
Okay.
Shift, which allows him to increase the speed of an object anytime
Just a
he
moment.
touches it. And
Okay, hi, sorry about that. Let me take it back a second. Sorry,
which allows him to increase the speed of an object anytime he touches it.
Wow.
In conjunction with the power of All for One, he can use this to warp reality itself.
Really?
He can
Okay.
go toe-to-toe with arch-villains like Shigaraki, who's fast enough to react to and catch laser beams with his bare hands.
Neat.
But nothing could prepare him for All Might's arch
Deku
enemy,
has
the
stated
shadowy
he's
leader of
physically
the-
on par with All Might when scaled to any feat he or the previous One for All users have accomplished. He stated that, but how true is
League
it?
of Villains, all for one.
All Might only ever showed his young pupil kindness and support, but that couldn't change the absolutely crushing pressure Deku felt at every moment.
Well,
Even
yeah.
classically trained dickhead Bakugo came to help his teammate out when he needed it. Like when they teamed
That's
up
good.
to share One for All and punch an island-sized hole in the clouds 24 miles high.
Oh,
This
wow.
goes to show that even One for All isn't a one-man army. Deku's true strength comes from his teamwork between himself and his friends.
And with their
Yeah, well,
Deku will surely become
you
that
can't get them in this
hope
fight.
he dreamt about as a child.
One hero for all mankind.
Except for all the ones he needs to back up.
Mobile.
This holiday season, the best deal in wireless. Get
Shut up.
And
6 month
service.
get mobile. Magic! You know it, you love it, and in the world
Yay.
of Black Clover, it doesn't come from a box you bought at a tacky West Hollywood costume shop. Everyone's got it.
You guys live in
The
Texas.
source of all magic, a supernatural energy found in the air and in living beings, except living beings whose names are Asta.
Not only was the young Asta an orphan abandoned by his mother at a church as a
Catchphrase.
baby, he was born with a mutation that prevents him from from having any mana to speak of. Well, neither do I, and you don't hear me crying about it.
Yes, you
Much.
do, all of the time. But Asta had a dream. Despite his lack of magic, he and his best friend Yuno promised each other one of them would rise to the throne of the greatest military position in the land, the Wizard King. Wizard King? Really, guys? Sometimes they call it Magic Emperor, but we all know what they mean.
So, he dedicated himself to getting swole as all hell.
Awesome.
In the world of nerds, he would be its lone jock god, shoving every last wizard into a locker until they crowned him king.
But pectorals on a tiny screaming goblin child weren't enough on its own. He needed something powerful enough to shut down his opponent's magic.
He needed the 5-leaf clover grimoire.
Essentially a book of
But again,
spells,
that's
a grimoire.
Yeah,
which
I looked it up the other day. Yeah, most leaves on a clover. Yeah, 56. Previously, the same guy had discovered a 21-leaf clover. Yes. I could see that you could see that in the... Yeah. That was up on the screen, even though I didn't actually tell it to switch windows, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Imagine what a 56-leaf grimoire would do for you. But anyway, though, yeah, this is getting into the whole... His skills and feats seem mostly to be about magic,
its user and
which Deku doesn't have.
At all times.
And Asta was lucky enough
So
to
it's-
receive the Una reverse card of grimoires. The 5-leaf clover can harness the power of anti-magic, which will literally nullify the effects of other magic spells. Almost
Yeah,
like
see,
wizards
that's not going to do anything
let
against
the
Deku. He doesn't use
locker
magic
stuffing
at all.
commence. Haha, get nerds!
It wasn't long before Asta was accepted into one of the 9 squads of Clover Kingdom's Magic Knights, the
Nice.
Black Wolves, filled with lazy drunkards, antisocial otakus, and literal sociopaths.
My kind of people. Mostly. But
Mostly.
like with Asta, you shouldn't judge a grimoire by its cover. And
Yeah, but
soon
Boomstick
they were
isn't
all
a
working
lazy
together and
drunkard.
kicking ass like a family should.
Asta harnesses the power of anti-magic by summoning swords imbued with it from the grimoire.
Well, I imagine, you know, even a sword specifically designed to cut down magic power is still gonna hurt like hell if you're bonked with it. It's probably still got, you know, a sharp edge, too.
Would quickly drain the mana from anyone foolish enough to wield them. But Asta does not have any mana, turning his greatest weakness into a one-of-a-kind strength.
He's got his classic Demon Slayer.
Okay. Demon Slayer, Demon Dweller, Demon Destroyer, Demon Slasher. That's only 5 leaves, or 4 leaves, yeah. Key Sensing. Okay, so Key he can sense. That'll, you know, and Deku's brimming with it. Anti-magic, Black Asta, Body Sacrifice, so they both have something like that. Unite.
Enormous greatsword
Okay.
which cuts through spells with its edge and deflects them with its flank. Or the Demon Dweller, which can also absorb and copy magic, then toss it right back to sender.
I think my personal favorite is the more complex Demon Destroyer, which severs the relationship between a spell's cause and effect, countering the effects of its magic.
Holy cheese. See, that'd just cause chaos, wouldn't it?
This could result in anything from healing a village that's inflicted with poison to preventing reincarnation.
Yeah, okay,
I
some of
see.
these can get a little heady. I personally prefer keeping it simple, like using anti-magic telekinesis to surf on your sword through the sky.
It's worth noting that these swords are made specifically for countering magical attacks and sources of mana. The swords will act as though blunted when striking non-magical foes, more akin to giant clubs than actual blades.
Okay, so he's just gonna be... You know, that's still gonna be, you know, pretty massive. That's gonna be, you know, blunt damage.
Not entirely inconsistent with real-life greatswords.
But none of that's even close to as cool as his deadliest sword, the Demon Slasher, a katana as black as the pits of hell and twice as badass.
This one actually does cut like a sword, but it's complicated. It
Oh?
lets Asta actually select what he does and does not want to cut, only affecting his target while leaving anything else unharmed.
Huh. I wonder if he could do the whole, your foe is behind you and you have to stab through yourself to get them sort of thing with that, and just avoid himself entirely.
Okay, at this point, isn't that just magic?
Magic with a loophole.
And he studied the blade long enough to become a master swordsman to boot. Not in the real-life sense, in the anime sense.
He can spin himself like a tornado to deflect magic spells, thrust forward at top speed like a charging bull, launch a barrage of anti-magic projectiles, and even channel anti-magic into his swords to vastly increase their size.
Well, while he may be no good with mana, he has learned to detect ki.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
The life force existing in all things.
Yeah, now we're gonna get into it.
And even predict their movements ahead of time, as long as he's fast enough to react.
With such crazy powers, Asta was taking on threats like the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the Devil Zagrid, and the Dark Triad. So many nerds, never enough lockers.
The Dark Triad? Why aren't you guys guarding Gutsus like you should be? Anyway, okay, so the key stuff is where it's gonna really hit the fan. That's where the relevant stuff. Also, you know, like I said, the using the sword like a club.
He had one serious inner demon.
Literally, housed within
Oh,
the
awesome.
Clover Grimoire was Liba, a demon exiled from hell for completely lacking magical powers.
Oh, golly.
Just so happened to get adopted by Asta's mother.
Until he got possessed by a different demon and killed her.
Oh,
Vowing
goodness.
vengeance on all demon kind, Liba manifested anti-magic from his hatred as a way to kick their asses.
I
Gave
see.
him and Asta a lot of common ground, despite the whole, mom murder thing.
In fact,
I mean, it was an
the two
accident.
brothers
Well,
formed an
not an
unstoppable
accident, but he was
duo.
possessed.
Liba can actually fully merge with Asta for a massive power boost that lasts
Oh, cool.
up to 5 minutes, at the cost of leaving Asta nearly powerless for the next half hour.
Come on, I want it. Yeah, I'll take it if I get to be strong enough to slice buildings to pieces, obliterate huge chunks of earth, and tear the most powerful demons apart. Give me the goddamn book. I'm the book boy, okay?
Even characters earlier in the series like Patoli had magic capable of completely vaporizing the entire Clover Kingdom in a single attack.
Dang.
And demons that Asta has fought since then like Dante and Lucifero are leagues stronger.
Hell, screw all these demon forms and anti-magic.
Okay. Survive being impaled multiple times. He'd leave it with only one arm. Wasn't that the name of his... There's something earlier. Yeah, that was something back here. Yeah, that was some of his abilities were classified under Liba. Routinely dodges beams of light, and I know they say Deku beat a guy who did that, but Deku hasn't done that. At least they didn't say.
Powers, Asta's body is so incredibly well trained, he dodged a beam of light while sleeping. As in,
Oh, God.
he was asleep, and the force of his sneeze pushed his head out of the way of a beam of light. Light speed sneezes, everyone.
And despite his headstrong and
Okay, despite being magical, light spells in Black Clover are as fast as natural light. They can be reflected by mirrors, travel a straight line, and have state of light speed. So it's just magical light.
irritating personality,
AKA screaming at the top of his lungs as often as possible.
Asta's an intelligent fighter who has leveraged his skill against far more experienced foes.
But he wouldn't be anywhere without the ragtag band of deviants he calls friends. With them at his side, there's no way he won't climb the ranks to take the Wizard King's throne. Especially with Yuno pushing them both to get stronger.
Unlike
Awesome.
other classic shonen rivalries, this one isn't tainted by antagonism. They
Oh,
truly
cool.
want what's best for each other, even if they're competing for the same throne.
Yuno's gonna need all the luck he can
Well,
get.
the series isn't over yet, so who
Never
knows?
gets mana of his own. His true magic is never given up.
Sweet.
This episode is sponsored.
Well, it's gonna have to come down to brute force. And, they spent so much time talking up Asta's anti-magic capability, because people online were saying he's stronger than Deku. He's faster than Deku. Faster I can see. Stronger, I don't know, because the Cloud Feat was done with help. I guess they both have not really summon companions. I mean, Asta has the demon inside him, but Deku has the rest of his lineage, I suppose. Everyone is so certain it's going to be Asta. Honestly, it doesn't seem fair doing either of these characters since they're not finished. And it's not like, a long-running comic book character where it's never going to be finished. And it's not like an incredibly long-running series like Dragon Ball where it's finished multiple times and then they just keep going. Or One Piece where, it's going to end eventually, but, it's been running for long enough. Haven't these series been running, not all that long? I mean, when I went to go watch, when I went to Netbug's house, that was 6 years ago, but, when I watched the first season. But still, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just my perception of time. Maybe it's just, you're up against all these series that have been running for decades versus one that's, well, I don't know how long Black Clover's been running, but it's not that long. Well, I can look that up. Oh, interesting. In February 2021, it was announced that the final episode of Black Clover would air on March 31st, 2021. That's funny. But this says, oh yeah, Black Clover has been serialized since 2015. It's over to the side. But, that's the part I'm highlighting. Yeah, I don't want to have to bother readjusting the windows. Anyway, I don't know, because like I was saying, even though most of Asta's stuff is about countering magic, which Deku doesn't have, he also deals with ki. They didn't really get into that, but he can sense ki. He can. Did they say that he can counter it? I have the brain fuzzies right now. Plus, it was a very murky analysis. So I'm just gonna...
Buttons are set and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Yeah! Oh no, we're in a stadium!
Sword that big? He's gotta be crazy strong. I'm gonna have to rely on more than just my power to take him down.
There's also an empty oh yeah, now we have people in it.
Just gotta hit him really hard.
Now it's got people.
Man, this guy can give even Luck a run for his money.
And kapow!
Aren't swords supposed to be sharp? His speed isn't slowed by his sword's weight at all. Gotta hamper his movements and get that book out of his hands.
Aha! He's realized the book is part of it. Nice. Three sword style! We are watching One Piece.
Now it's my turn.
And kapow.
Wait, are you not using magic?
Nope.
What magic emperor would I be if I can't beat a guy like this? Detroit
Oh. Oh boy. Does he need the book with him? I mean, there's that part where the books were just appearing in front of people, so can he just get it back that way? Kind of surprised he didn't try to thumb through it at first, try to get an idea.
Detroit is, but I've had enough of it. I'm ending this.
Yeah, I think that's a common thought, including everyone who lives there.
All you've got, because I'm never going down.
Ah, they're screaming at the top of his lungs. The voice actors are doing a really good job. You gotta have that kind of sounding all over the place. Shouldn't
You're not going all out anymore.
it was fully in slow motion. Does his hair really do that? Uh-huh. Oh boy, you are destroying your body. He just comes out of commission for half an hour. You go out of commission until you get released from the hospital.
I did it.
Doubt. Yep.
Take that, Detroit.
Oh god. Hang on, what did he
Take that, Detroit.
take that, Detroit?
Poor Deku. He tried his best, but Asta just shoved him into that great big locker in the sky.
Oh god.
Both Deku and Asta were fairly evenly matched melee fighters without any specific abilities to give one an easy edge over the other. Though,
Yeah.
to be fair, the variety of quirks Deku inherited from past users of One for All did make him more versatile and unpredictable.
Plus, quirks are biological mutations, not connected to some supernatural energy source like mana. So Asta's anti-magic powers were basically useless here.
Thwack, thwack,
Deku
thwack,
was
thwack.
generally a smarter and more tactical fighter, but against Asta's incredible might, this time brawn beat brains.
Let's crunch some numbers! Deku's greatest feat of strength was splitting that enormous cloud formation with Bakugo.
By measuring the size of the island and comparing it to the clouds above, we can determine they dispersed over 60.
I love how they don't even need to explain anymore that moving and dispersing clouds is a massive, massive feat. Because it used to be when that was a feat, they would be like, oh, but they're clouds. How much could they possibly? Yeah, here we go.
3 trillion kilograms of water.
They're teaching
It's
us
the weight of
science.
the Great Pyramid of Giza. 12,000 of them.
It
Nice.
required an energy of nearly 80 teratons of TNT per punch.
Let's compare that to Asta. But Toli's spell was going to be strong enough to vaporize a country the size of the Clover Kingdom.
We can use
that's
to
okay.
estimate the size of Clover Kingdom to be about 500 kilometers in diameter. The
Oh.
length of Great Britain. Vaporizing a country of that size.
Okay, this is the max for both feats. Using the minimum time frame for Deku's cloud split and vaporization for the Clover Kingdom's destruction. More conservative estimates will still result in Asta being
Require an energy
stronger.
of
I
over
see.
480 teratons of TNT.
Interesting.
Over 6 times greater than Deku's punch.
While Asta uses anti-magic,
Okay.
it isn't
More tactical and wider array of powers, but he's slower, can't safely access max power. Swords are greater than punches and kicks. So yeah, even when they're being used as clubs, they're still a weapon. Asta, physically stronger, faster, better ways to predict movement, more mobile with flight, but anti-magic would not affect
an
quirks. Yeah.
automatic counter. It needs to be comparable in strength to the spell it's combating. And Asta's gotten way stronger since.
Asta was also quicker. Sure, scaling to Shigaraki would give Deku roughly light speed reaction time.
But Asta could dodge light in his sleep, and that's his base form.
Hold on.
But Asta could dodge
Aster.
light in his sleep, and that's his base
They
form.
called him Aster.
Even before transforming with Liba to get way faster.
And since Deku and Asta
Okay. You know, somehow I just missed that Leva was the name of the fucking demon. How the This is what I mean. When I have the brain clouds. I'm actually proud I can still do that noise. That's like the first weird noise that I remember doing. I had like a little parking garage toy, and you'd wind up an elevator to raise the cars, and it would have that, it would make that sound, and I could imitate that sound. Race for speeds are somewhat comparable, leaving against us a far greater speed boost than Gear Shift's 20% increase does for Deku. Okay.
More or less matched each other. It was only a matter of time before Asta simply overwhelmed him.
Especially since Deku has struggled in the past against faster opponents. Sure, Deku was smarter, but if he literally...
Also, skills of Salamander, who according to the Black Clover databook is capable of draining the ocean with a single swing of its claws, if he worth at least 11.5 petatons of TNT. Drying the... My god, even Alpha... Alpha Groudon can't
really didn't
do
have
that.
enough time to come up with a plan of attack before getting hammered. His brains were wasted.
Deku's tactical brilliance and harem scare and tenacity definitely gave his opponent a run for his money. But Asta's raw power, blinding
like
speed, and deadlier weaponry spelled the
weird
end for all
feedback.
Might's pupils.
Deku gave it his all, and I wish he had won. Hasta la vista.
The winner is Asta.
Okay, everyone's saying next time is really cool. Yeah. Jose Estrada and Michael Kovac. Good job, you guys. Good job.
Why not grab a membership? You'll get exclusive emotes, badges, live chat, live streams, and a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Audio's kind of
Just click
falling
that join
apart
button.
right now.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, let's see. Oh my god, they did that as a DBX a while ago. I was not expecting to ever see that matchup again. I was not expecting that. I saw someone talk about that, but I had no idea it was in this context. Oh my lord. Well, no matter what the outcome is, we're gonna have 3 Dragon Ball characters lose this season. This fight was basically the nerdy jock versus the dumbass jock. Like, Deku's rambling commentary through the fight. Ike Midoriya used Asta as a paddle ball. Oh, Satan still had the jetpack from his fight with Dan. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm really not doing too well right now, so I'm not going to record any sort of gameplay after this. I hope you guys are still watching my my Violet playthrough. I've been getting hit with downvote trolls, and it's demoralizing, especially when I only get like the maximum of 6 views. So someone's going through and downvoting all of that, and I just don't understand. What? And at least tell me what it is you don't like. And I know people are going to downvote this video because I'm sick. Just, if you don't like that I can't pay attention, just hit the back button. Be nice. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go, that's some lemonade. I'm gonna go make some tea and lie down. I still need to finish the next obsession chapter for Nano. I went back to Bulba Garden forums and posted chapter 24 after an 11-year gap of not having posted there. So I think people found that pretty impressive. I'm gonna take a nap. Until next time, wear a mask, wash your hands, get your boosters. None of this anti-science bullshit. Alright? No excuses. We're all in this together.